Okay, hello. I I want to touch a little on the phone strategy. Okay, so it's a simple but effective strategy. I've been using it on my phone for months now. So it's so simple. I will try to look for uh, setups. Okay, so the strategy works with two things. It works with trend. I say trend. It works with trend line and uh, M and W pattern. Okay, it works with your trend line and M and W pattern. Okay, what am I trying to say? Let me get a trend line here. Okay, this is a trend line, right? So when you draw your trend line, this is how it will look like. Okay, to draw a trend line, you have to connect at least 2 points, right? Okay, at least 2 points. So this is my 2 point. This is one, this is one, and this is two. So at least I've connected 2 points here, one and two. Yeah, so 2 point is connected there. So let me show you so that you get it more. This is my first point and this is my second point. So I've connected 2 points. So a trend line, you just need to connect 2 points together to give you a trend line. So I think one of the things you need to learn is how to draw an effective trend line. Okay, maybe I'm gonna drop a PDF on that, on how to draw an effective trend line. But for now, this is what I mean. So once you draw this trend line, and then based on the picture I post in the group, which we're gonna get into that in few minutes. Once you draw your trend line and there's an M and W pattern. What is M and W? What is M and W? Okay, let me use this for example. Let me give you a clearer example so that you understand. Okay, this is what I mean by M and W. Okay, something like this, right? It went up. Okay, came down, right? So that's how to detect M and W. Okay, went up again. Okay, and then break down. Okay, so this is your M and W. This is your M, right? So you can see that it broke the. So you can see that this leg breaks the trend line. So when we said it breaks the trend line, that means it closes below the trend line. Once it closes above the trend line, that means it's yet to break the trend line, right? So when we said a candle breaks a trend line, that means it's closed below the trend line. So in such scenario of this M and your trend line, where will you enter the market? This will be your entry trade immediately after the candle closes. So you enter sell from this place, right? You enter sell from this place. So when you enter sell here, where will you put your stop loss? Your stop loss will be above this high, right? This high that breaks the trend line. Yeah, this high here that breaks this trend line. So your stop loss will be here. Okay. All right. Let me show you that in the picture I sent in the group so that you see their similarity. Okay. Look at it here. You can see this is exactly what I drew in that place. The differences is this is for buy, while that is for sell. Look at your M and W. this is W in this case. Meanwhile, in the case of the video is M, why this is W. You can see, so the trend line connect at least 2 points. So we have our W, and when you are having your W, it must touch the trend line, right? The middle, which is, how will I call it, the V in the M or W must touch your trend line just the way it touches trend line here, and it also touches my own trend line. You can see it. So you can see that this A is when it breaks your trend line. So after breaking your trend line and closing above your trend line, you can enter your buy. And where will your stop loss be? Look at your stop loss. Your stop loss is D. Okay, it will be below the high, the low that breaks the trend line. So you just put it a little bit below the candle that breaks, below the low that breaks the trend line. So that is it. So I will show you more examples so that you get it. All right, so let me show you more examples so that you understand this. Okay. If you are talking of when to take your profit, yeah, when to take your profit, it depends. You can decide to take your profit to be 2 times of your stop loss. For example, if your stop loss is let's assume $50, you might decide to make your take profit to be at least $100. That is 1 to 2. That should be the minimum of what you're targeting. 1 to 2 should be your minimum. All right, for it to be profitable, you should use at least 1 to 2. So, and as we go on, this is just an introductory to the strategy. As we go on, I will show you how to lock your entry. Once your trade goes in your favor, the first thing you do is to lock the entry so that you won't lose that trade anymore. Like you won't lose your money anymore. Even if the trade reverses and takes you out of the market, you will be at break even. That is zero. You are not losing, you are not gaining. It's better than you it's better than the market going into your favor and coming back to hit you out of the market. Okay, so for now I'm only showing you the setups, right? So let me show you another setup. Okay, this is another setup here. Okay, this is another setup here. So you need to practice how to cash these setups, right? You need to practice how to cash these setups. How to draw. 2 things you need to practice is how to draw your trend line and how to draw your trend line and how to spot out your M and W. Can you see this M and W now? It's so simple to spot if you practice it. Okay, if you practice it. Okay, let me show you this M and W. All right, these are first leg, right? These are first leg here. The first leg of the M is here. Okay, mind you, it won't be perfect. You just need to be creative around it. If you're expecting it to be perfect as normal M and W, that won't work. Okay, so this is our third leg, right? This is our third leg, and this is our fourth leg. Okay, and once this breaks and close below, you enter your trade. Okay, so this is why I said you need to lock your, I'll teach you how to lock your entry. For example, if you have entered this trade and it got to this point, okay, there's nothing will stop you from locking your entry, right? If you have entered this trade here and it got to this point, the only simple thing you need to do is to lock your entry. All right, and there's no how you will lose this trade even if it goes back and hit you out. Okay, So that is the importance of locking your entry. So the final setup here is this. Look at it here. This is the final setup here. Okay, I want to connect 2 points. So let me show you this. This is my first leg, right? This is my second leg. And this is my third leg, right? Is it okay? And this is my final leg, right? That broke the trend line. Okay, this is my M, right? Okay, this is my M, and you will have entered this trade here after this guy. I've broken the trend line, so enter it here, and your stop loss as usual is above this high here, right? Stop loss above this high here. So can you see how the market keeps crashing? So this is a simple strategy, and we use it on H4 time frame, and H4 is recommended you stick on to H4. Yeah, we use it majorly on H4, but you can also use it on H1, which is 1 hour time frame, right? You can also use it on 1 hour time frame. So if you have mastered the market, you can use it on 1 hour time frame, but as a beginner, it's recommended you use it on H4, okay? But once you master the market, nothing stops you from using it on H1. It's the same setup, no differences, okay? So how I wish I can get a we have been seeing M pattern, M pattern, M pattern. How I wish you can see the W so that you understand that they are the same thing. Okay, look at the W here. There's a W here. Okay, so let me just draw this trend line. Okay, look at the W here. So it's just your trend line and your W or M pattern. Okay, so for your information, W forms for a buy and M form for a sell. So for example, if you start seeing W at the top, don't go and start selling. W is meant for buy, right? And M is meant for sell. So just like this W we saw here now, is meant for you to buy, not to sell, right? So that's just how it works. Okay, that's how it works. So this is a W. So it's the same thing. You just need to understand that we have something called M and W pattern, and you join it with your trend line in order to take your trade. So you find W to buy your trade, and M pattern to sell your trade, right? So that's how it works. So if you have any question, just drop it in the comments of this video or in the group training group, so that I can do justice to that. So I'll be sending a PDF for you to study on how to draw this trend line appropriately. If you can master how to draw a trend line and how to spot these patterns, you are done with let me say 50 to 60% work. So the remaining thing is just how to enter a trade and then lock your entry. All right, and that's all. And by now you should know how to enter a trade. So I think what I should be focusing on is how to enter and lock your entry using this same strategy, right? Not using another strategy. So but the only issue is I only trade 4 pairs. These are the only 4 pairs I trade. So I might just having few trades in a week, since I'm only trading few pairs, right? But for those that trade 20, 30, 12, 10 pairs, they'll have set up frequently. So I just decided to focus on few pairs. You can decide to go for as many pairs. We have up to 30 pairs, so you can decide to go for as many as you want. But I've decided to go for this few so that I can be focused. I don't have the strength to be going around, right? All right, so I will see you in the next video. Please make sure you watch and understand this video. Thank you.